Hello everyone, this is Roger Shrimkowski from SnapLogic, and in this video I'm going to give you a technical overview of SnapLogic's GenAI app builder. Our journey to GenAI app builder really began last year with our release of SnapGPT, the copilot built into our designer, which you can see here. SnapGPT helps our customers generate new pipelines, document existing pipelines, analyze pipelines before putting them into production, and much more. As our customers worked with SnapGPT though, we kept hearing one question over and over. Can you help us build something like this? Or just in general, help us bring GenAI to our business? With that question in mind, let me take a moment to share 3 use case categories our customers are using with GenAI App Builder today. The first category is prompt automation and integration, which deals with injecting enterprise data into a prompt for a number of reasons, including extraction, summarization, classification, sentiment analysis, and much more. Really, this is just a list of everything LLMs excel at. And data for this use case can come from any source that SnapLogic can connect to. It's not limited to files. The second category is intelligent document processing, which its name sort of hints at, is a little bit different in that its data is sourced almost completely from files. It also typically focuses on summarization or extraction, and we will cover this in a moment. The final category is retrieval augmented generation, which is a very common use case in the enterprise GenAI market right now. This method focuses on use of a vector database to build a knowledge store for semantic or similarity searching. So the thread that ties all 3 of these use cases together is that at its core, GenAI in the enterprise is an integration problem. If you take a moment to think about each of these use cases, they all require getting data from a source, applying some business logic, passing the data via API to the LLM or to a vector database, then potentially a final round of business logic before the results are sent to the destination. Now let's dig a little deeper into 2 of the use cases, IDP and RAG. And stay tuned for a subsequent video going into more depth on the prompt automation and integration use cases. First, let's talk about intelligent document processing. We will use the purchase order on the left side for this example, and our goal is to use natural language instead of code to extract the fields that we want, such as invoice number, PO, recipient name, etc., and turn that data into JSON for our ERP system downstream. Now let's talk about retrieval augmented generation, which really has 2 steps to it. The first step, which we can see here, allows us to pull enterprise data, including structured and unstructured data, and prep it for loading into the vector database. If the data is large, such as a white paper, a research paper, or something similar, we can chunk the data into smaller sections. After that, the data is embedded, which if you aren't familiar with embedding, you can think of it as assigning each chunk of data an address. It's really a numerical representation, and I'll build more on that analogy in the next slide. The final step here, though, is to insert the embedding in the data into the vector database. The second step to RAG is to retrieve data from the knowledge store. For example, on the left-hand side of the screen, we're showing a virtual assistant being asked the question, when do I get paid? That prompt is sent via API to a SnapLogic pipeline, where the question is also embedded or given an address. To flush that visualization out now, think of the second snap here, the vector database query, like using your favorite map application to search for restaurants near your hotel when traveling. The question, when do I get paid, is the fixed point, it's the hotel. And the vector database query will return any chunks of enterprise data that are nearby, such as restaurants if we were thinking about the map visualization. The third snap in this pipeline, the augment prompt snap, is where you would include the prompt you may have typed into ChatGPT in the past, including context from the vector database, instructions on how to answer the question, guardrails, and anything else you might want to include. And the final snap, chat completions, is the actual API call to the LLM, the output of which is sent back to the user in this case to answer the question. So here we can see it says all employees are paid on a semi-monthly basis. And at the bottom of the prompt, we can see that we include a link to the source used to answer the question so that it can be referenced if somebody wants to go fact check. Now, I know everyone says they have GenAI right now, so let me address some of the skepticism by sharing 3 real-world use cases from our existing customers. Our first use case here is for a customer who receives updated billing formulas in PDF files and had a manual process to scan the file, extract the formula, compare it to the billing system, and then alert someone if they did not match. With GenAI App Builder, we were able to help this customer build a solution 30 times faster than hand coding. Now, our second use case is for a customer with a sales team that spent about 8 hours per week, 20% of their week, manually reviewing competitive news articles, summarizing them individually with ChatGPT, then linking them to an existing product document, and then entering all of that research into their CRM. With GenAI App Builder, this entire process is now automated, returning that 20% of their week back for more impactful efforts and saving at least $48,000 annually on ChatGPT license fees based on the size of their sales team. The third and final use case is for a finance team that had a time-consuming manual process to pull critical fields from sales contracts, which were considered the source of truth, and update them into the CRM. With GenAI App Builder, we were able to automate this entire process to deliver 10 times faster month-end close, 90% reduction in manual effort, and significantly reduced data inaccuracies. If you want to learn more about these use cases, please keep an eye on our YouTube channel for future videos. You can also find a link in the description below for a webinar that includes a customer speaking in more detail about their use case. With that said, I want to thank you for your time, and I hope you have a fantastic day.